Well, hello there, Shirlierox here. Welcome to Vagrus, the Prologue. So this is the Prologue of Vagrus, and apparently it's Prologue of Vagrus, the Riven Realms. It isn't a full game. It's got about 8 to 12 hours of playable content, depending on playstyle. It's a small, made by a small indie development studio. I don't know what their actual name is. I think it's Forbidden Realms Studio. No, that's not. That's actually, no, just completely forget I said that. It's the Lost Pilgrims Studio. So this is over on Game Jolt. You can get it if you want. So I'll post a link to where you can get it. And we're gonna play the intro and see what's what. So here we go. Oh, so Vagrus is a venturer, a vagabond, a captain, the leader of a comitus. And a comitus is an armed travelling company. It usually carries cargo and passengers. Okay. So that's what we are. We're in charge of an armed caravan. Gonna be interesting.
The Riven Realms, they call it. What a fine poetic name for something as rotten and twisted as our land has become. It was not always so. Long ago, the old empire, the noblest and most enduring society created by humankind, spanned almost the entire continent of Zerine, the cradle of man. But after several millennia of progress and incomparable achievements, inevitably, the empire began to fall into stagnation and decadence. Desperately holding on to their privileges and resisting change while trying to avert the collapse of the realm, the emperor and his theocracy took to measures that were worthy of true despots in cruelty. Subjugating weaker realms, enslaving whole nations, strip mining foreign resources, oppressing imperial citizens, war on several fronts, genocide. Eventually, the gods could no longer tolerate such horrors wrought in their name. Foretold by an abundance of divine omens, they descended upon the empire to right its wrongs. Thus, in a chain of dreadful events that became known as the Calamity, they annihilated the empire in a matter of days. The gods then finally saw what they had done in their anger and confusion. It is said that so much grief and shame filled them that they were broken and they left this reality, never to return. The continent and its inhabitants seemed dead, but at length survivors began to crawl out of their hiding holes and faced a land that no longer welcomed them. Arcane anomalies, the fallout of the Calamity, now riddled the continent, and people realized that they had to share their new home with changed and twisted creatures. Terrible beings entered through the cracks in the tapestry of reality and rose to rule over the natives. In time, these new powers rebuilt the fallen empire in their own image, and the Riven Realms, now godless and vengeful, reincarnated from the ashes. The inhabitants of the land, such as I, now eke out a living under the crushing rule of the new empire. The continent itself constantly resists our every attempt at building a cozy home for ourselves. As travel is dangerous, many ventures specialize in transferring cargo and passengers over bleak and deadly leagues of land. Others try to take everything of value from said travelers, or attempt to find buried treasures among the ruins of the old empire. The leaders of the endeavors are, some say, the bravest men and women of the Riven Realms. Such a leader is called a Vagrus.
Wow, so that was pretty awesome. So it's set in a world that's been annihilated by the gods, and now it's left this mutated, freakish world. Oh, this looks pretty good. Right, so we're going to do a new game. Let's have a little read. What does it say down here? Known issues. Voice narration for Argos is limited to intro, campfire scene. Some sound effects are placeholders. Making a profit through trading goods between settlements is not viable. Okay. Tooltips are missing. Combat IA has quirks here and there. Okay, let's get into it then. Nothing beside remains round the decay of that colossal wreck, boundless and bare. The lone and level sands stretch far away. From Ozymandias, Percy Bysshe Shelley, 1818. Okay, here we go.
Ah, yes. A Vagrus. What a profession. Daring and savvy, always watching the horizon, always looking for an opportunity, and of course, for what is best for his comitatus, eh? And you are a Vagrus too, are you not? Many of your kind have I seen in my long life as a vagabond. Care to listen to a story about your exquisite occupation, good master? It is a tale of woe and terror, but it is also a tale that is true, as I have seen it with mine own eyes.
Ooh, very mysterious. Okay, so tell us your tale. Oh, we can't skip the prologue, so I guess we're going to watch it then.
Wise you are, good master. My tale is of a Vagrus, such as yourself, but one whose fate was cursed and wrought with ill fortune. It all happened a long time ago. 10 years, maybe more. I was but a passenger, traveling rough roads and forgotten ways with this comitatus, south along the feet of the great mountains of the west.
Okay, let's start the prologue then. Okay, so there's no sound on this bit. Okay, I love the audio on that bit was excellent then. This comitatus I speak of had fallen under hard times. Perhaps it was due to imperial harassment or unfortunate decisions, or simply bad luck. Iranthon's Saint of Rhodes does not always smile on us mere mortals, but however it came to pass, their coin was drying up and their opportunities seemed few and far between. One of the last chances the Vagrus saw was to travel to the remote town of Scrapheap and spend their remaining funds stock up on cheap scrap metal. This metal could be sold for great profit over in the east and south. It wasn't a bad plan truly, but it was not without risks either. Okay. Welcome to the prologue of Vagrus Riven Realms. It serves as an introduction to the setting and also as a tutorial to the game. It behoves you to read the tutorial text and follow the instructions to gain a better understanding of how the game works. So the little map icon can be clicked in the tutorial window to show what section it's referring to via a pointer. Note you have to be on the right UE screen for the pointer to appear. Note that although Vagrus is an open world game, due to the prologue being a tutorial, it's progressive along a narrow guided path in the beginning and opens up only later after the core mechanics have been introduced. Okay. So this is the start of the game. So on the campaign map, your Comitus travelling company always occupies a node and moves between nodes along paths. Moving along paths costs movement points, which looks like they're up here, 10. So can we click on those bits? No. Oh right, so this is basically saying it'll cost me 3 movement points to move on this bit, I think it means. To click on a nearby mode and select mode. Okay, and there's the little map thing it said about. So Scrapheap's over there, so let's go to Scrapheap then. It's going to take us 7, so it's 4 plus 3. It's 7, yay, I can do math! Okay, let's click on that to move. There we go. Oh, an encounter. So it's a bit like FTL with encounters in every one. Most of the story is presented through interactive text called events. Events provide choices you can pick from at each step. Various choices have a number of consequences. Some choices have dependencies. That is, you can only pick a certain choice if you have the right prerequisite. Skills, perk, and characters. You click choices or use 1 to 9. Okay. Having gone ahead of the column with a handful of scouts, you watch from a ridge as your comitatus slowly trudges along, making its way ponderously among dormant geysers and broken terrain. All around you, the hills smoulder lazily in the perpetual twilight. Are you alright? Javek's voice resonates sympathy as he appears next to you on the ridge. You nod slowly, but do not look at him. Your gaze is lost in the distance where ash clouds cloak the distance and the towering mountains to the south and west. Turning to you, turning to your comes, your notice supportive smile. You and Javek have been travelling through realms together for years now. There's no other person in the world who you trust more than you trust him, except perhaps yourself. I know you feel constrained, but I feel like I've said this before. You made the right choice by leading us here. Okay, so we've got time will tell. I have my doubts. It's a long shot and you know it. Wasn't much of a choice, either this or returning my trading license. It has to work, we cannot fail like this. Thank you. The last thing I read now is... Okay, so it's one of these two. Let's do number one. Okay, Javek nods. True, but it's better than giving up. The crew agrees too. That counts for something though. Okay, it's good to know they have faith. Perhaps they're just desperate. Let's do number one again. They do have faith in you still, Javek says. It shouldn't come as a surprise since you've known and travelled with most of them for years and years. Some founding members of the Comitatus you could trust with your life, but you've heard stories before about Vagrus who have been abandoned for less. Times being what they are, with Imperials cracking down on independence more heavily than before, business is tough, everyone knows, and they appreciate the effort. Okay, so we're going to try and get here. When text in an event is highlighted pale blue, it means you have found a codex entry. Clicking on such text opens the codex and navigates you to the entry. Okay, so you talked your travelling companion into a few weeks ago. Each step towards the western mountains. More and more of them started to have doubts, such as the way of the road. The plan involves a desperate attempt at squeezing a low selling price for bits of metal out of an old contact of yours in Scrap Heap. So let's click on Scrap Heap. Oh, here we go. So the Codex is a collection of entries you have found throughout your travels in events. Entries contain information about the world and its inhabitants. Each time they are unread, entries, the crystal on the cover of the closed Codex emanates light. Entries are displayed as a list, and you can search entries and filter them. Okay, you can close the Codex and continue your journey. You can open it again by clicking on the book in the bottom right-hand corner. Okay, let's close that then. Let's see, can we get that open again? Oh, we can. So, Scrap Heap's a town on the edge of Imperial territory, just north of Molten Tongue and south of the Forest of Shadows. In the smouldering shadows of the Great Mountain of the West, Scrap Heap rarely sees sunlight. As the skies are forever ashen and overcast, the air is hot and dry. Earthquakes are common. Most of the time, it's engulfed in smoke and ash, and a constant reddish twilight is upon it. Surrounded by a low wall, the town is indeed made of scrap and junk, mostly stone with metal scraps, as well as leather and cloth awnings. A single tall tower stands high above the town on a hill, housing a beacon that aids scavenger teams in their return, but also gives home to the Heap King. Inhabitants wear scarves and masks to aid their breathing. Well after the calamity, people flocked to the molten kingdoms of Devendar Far, formerly the homeland of all dwarves on the continent. Oh, so we've actually got, it's not just humans then, dwarves. Okay. So they're saying it's very volcanic and volatile and didn't dare dwell in it. Okay, so this is why this is formed. Okay, that's a nice thudding sound, isn't it? Listen to that. Oh, that's good. Right, so we've got two choices here. Do you think Nabro will help us out? The old scavenger was never famous for his goodwill. Maybe we should do all these little blurb things here, though. Get all the blurb. Molten Tongue. It's the name of a region in the western Zerin. Gigantic flowing lava lake. Okay. What about some of the other stuff? What's Devon, or who's Devon? Is that a contact? Devon is a large settlement of upper central region. Okay. So these are all place names, aren't they? That's another city. Is Ash another city? Township. And it mentions something called the Dead Forest. Large woodland area. Right. So, only one can hope. I haven't seen him in years. We always dig business. Or if he's not willing to sell, we must find a way to compel him. Let's do number one. I'm sure such a sleazy person as him would remember all the business they've ever done. You've seen this expression on him too often not to realise he's using his sorcerer's talent to read your mind. Taking a peek? Apologies. Quickly rubs his eyes and looks away briefly. You know how it is. It comes to me so naturally sometimes I don't notice I'm doing it. Your thoughts are loud. I actually have to block them, you see. Okay, so he can read people's minds. He can sense moods and thoughts. Okay, let's do apology accepted. Right, both of you walk down to the Chromatis and join the other column. Okay. Onwards to the next bit then. As we're coming up to the gaping scrap heap, the trash pile of cutthroats and scavengers, we could see the vast mountain range of shattered Davendar looming ominously over the horizon. Half shrouded in gaseous vapours, belched forth by the volcanoes in the west, my companions prepared to do their business in town as fast as they could, not wishing to tarry about in this notorious place. Okay, let's get to scrap heap then. Here we go. What is that? Oh, that's a massive lizard. At the foot of the ever-fuming mountains of the ancient dwarven kingdom lies Scrap Heap, the town of scavengers. Debris and junk is piled into hills upon which the rickety homes stand. Ash lingers everywhere and the sun is almost never absent. Oh, I think we've read that already. Alright, so we need to track down Narbo. When a Chromatis enters a settlement, you can select from a variety of options, each on a separate pane, revolving around resting, resupplying and trading. This time only the story pane is active. Follow the only available story. Okay, let's minimise that. Track down Narbo. You make your way to the Raft stash, a notorious watering hole tucked away in a small street just below the imposing tower of the Heat King, but not quite under its immense shadow. Not many frequent the establishment, which makes it perfect for Narbo and his little operation of honest merchants. Apparently the knave is not only alive, but has done well for himself in the past decade. Taking only Javek, you lead the Chromatis to the care of Titus, your quartermaster, while you go negotiating. So steps into the tavern. I'm not going to read all this. You can pause it and read it all. I don't want to spend too long reading it all. Right, so we can make our way confidently. We can walk to the bar or sit down. Let's walk over to him. He looks up from a stack of papers. He's a corpulent man with a bushy dark beard and a few missing teeth. Part of his face is covered in scars, similar to those left by old Burns. It's a clear indication of the taint. The merchant wears a leather jerkin studded with small bronze and bone coins, a sign of wealth. Okay. Thought you croaked, so he does remember me. Right, so... Right. We can apologise to him for the unfortunate way we parted years ago. We can get down to business right away with no time to spare, or remind him you don't like threats, especially not insinuating. How did he threaten me? Let's apologise. As far as I can tell, you never did anything against me, eh? Of course, you could have sent someone to warn us. Right. Ooh, the Collegium. Who are they? Collegium is a traditional imperial association, a kind of guild of its own rules. So it sounds like they were after me. They got offended by how you two outplayed in my smuggling in a shipment of exotic spices and selling it. Okay. Appreciate you coming clean, even if this sorry business was many years ago. Okay, seems to be pretty... The bodyguard seems a little less tense. Something tells me this ain't all you came from. Right. Let's do my business. You explained to him you want to give you a discount on a shipment of metal scraps. Sits in silence. That sounds like you've been thinking a long time about it, he says, shifts in his chair. And it's a great plan, except for the part where I give you a discount. And I don't do that, mate. That would make me, what, an almoner. That's a word. Nabro looks up at him. When a man nods, he turns back to you. Aye, an almoner. See, I'm no almoner. What's an almoner? Some choices have dependencies, meaning you can only pick a certain choice if you have the right requisites. Okay. All right, so we've got a few things we've got three choices. Tell him you'll be in his debt. He'll make a tiny profit. You will owe him a favour. High chance of success. That's using the persuasion skill. Remind him you two should make a great team. This could rekindle that partnership. That's a low thing. Or reveal you're on a bad spot and it's your last chance. Let's go for this one. Let's go for number one. Right, after a pause, he scratches his beard, he turns to you. Fair enough, we used to run together. I know you're capable. Just to be clear, you do owe me for this and I'll collect. The moment you make that deal, you come back here and we share. I want a quarter, no haggling that. Okay, let's agree then. Okay, your journal has become active in the bottom left. Bottom left is your story means to follow stories and tasks. Okay, so we've got stories. Walk up to the tower. And stroll a mark. Let's go and visit the Heap King. Okay. Before you rise to the tower, better turn back if you have no business here, vagabond. Okay, so I can either say that and walk back down. Ask them where you could acquire an invitation. Let's try that. Perhaps you could try. Oh, my duty is to stop at it. Yeah, let's go and walk around the market district then. That's not very friendly. You remember a shop with dwarves? Quick curiosities hidden in an alley from years ago. Perhaps it's still there. Let's go and try that one. Small shop is still there at the end. Worse shop than you remember. The shop looks empty. He's the son of the man who used to run it. His father never came back from a forage. Okay. I still have something here that Vagrus such as yourself might be interested in. And he's given me a small brass compass. Okay, let's buy it. We're buying it with a bros, whatever a bros is. Let's leave the market. I think aren't we pretty much done here then? Right, let's leave we can't quite leave the settlement just yet. Let's try this again, the king thing. Ask for directions then. I'm no guide. If you want to find something, get an urchin, give him a few changes. Okay, let's try again. There's nothing I can do here. Have we done the local prices and goods? There's nothing you could fork out of coins. Okay. Okay, better leave it once, it'll only get worse. Let us go. I want to go. How do we go? Your journal has become active in the bottom left. It means you follow stories and tasks. Open your journal by clicking on the book in the bottom left corner. So I guess it's down here. Or is that the journal? Oh, here's the journal. Ah, here we go. The journal allows you to view your quest tasks and other related information. You can search for entries and filter them. Objectives are your quests and tasks. Qualities are all the qualities and comitatus, or the leadership. Currently, there can be statuses. Okay, that's far too much reading. So what tasks have we got to do? We need to get the shipments. We'll save your taking large shipments of metal to Devon. Buy at least 40 metal scraps at the market. You checked out the market. Went looking for a hidden shop. Did you find it? I did. Right, so we need to buy 40 metal scraps at the market. So let's go to the market. So how do I actually buy stuff from the market then? Because I need to get 40 metal scraps. I don't have the coin to buy anything, so... Okay, here we go. Here's the market. The market pane displays the available goods you can buy and opens your cargo pane on the left. So I need to buy 40 metal. Buy or sell 1 increments by clicking on the buy or sell button. Holding shift buys or sells a whole stack. So I want to buy scrap metal. So I want to buy 40. So we'll buy 40. We've got some supplies, so hopefully that's going to be enough. Let's minimize that. And let's click on my journal. So buy at least 40 metal scraps at the market. We should have done that then. Right, so my supplies last for 3 days. Should I buy some more supplies? And what next? Owned equipment. Ooh, Dwarven Compass gives us +1 max movement. Everything else looks like it's locked at the moment. Let's do the tutorial. So, Drag and hold the item for buying or selling. Hold shift. Purchase at least 40 scrap and supplies for 10 days. Ah, that's where we're going wrong. So let's buy a stack of this. 7, 8. Right. We need 10 days worth of food. Come on. There we go. Equipment you can attach to the Comatus is sold on some markets or throughout the travels. They provide bonuses and upgrades. Switch to the equipment tab and purchase the awning equipment. So is that up here? Oh, it's here. We just need to buy... What does this do? It's linen awning stretched over saddles to block harmful weather effects. Minus 25% worker consumption. Okay, we'll buy that. Equipment you own are in a pool below the Comitatus. In order to gain the bonuses, you need to equip them by dragging and dropping them into an appropriate slot. Equipment can only be placed in a slot that matches the type. Equip the awning on... So this needs to be fixed. So how do I attach it? Is it on here? Okay, we've equipped it. Nice. Right, items. The third type of cargo doesn't take up cargo space and not equipable. They are used and traded in certain events. You can switch panes in settlements, and the active pane will open a corresponding part of the Comitatus. When you're done exploring, click on the arch icon. All right, let's leave then. I'm ready. Right. We are going to go and we are going to see what we can see in the next thing. You spend the night of a guarded compound. It's not for free, though. Okay, you set out at dawn. Let's move along towards the inspection. The robed magistrate of the Heap King appears to coordinate the search effort, picking out people or travelling groups for inspection. As we draw near, it takes only a passing glance to appraise you and your crew before he motions to the guards to let you through. Okay, let's go then. Alright, we're well on its way, and Scrap Heap is a mere dot on the horizon by the time Javek joins you in the front of the line. Just like I said, you made the right choice for this venture. Talk of how you may have saved us all is spreading like wildfire. Of course, we do have to make it alive all the way to Devon with the cargo, but it's a good start, don't you think? Right. What do we want to choose? Let's nod to an agreement. Okay, let's continue and end. Okay, in the prologue, your progress is saved at checkpoints like it's just been saved now. Also, whenever you leave a settlement, an autosave occurs, overwriting the previous settlement save. Another autosave occurs with each game's new day. You can load your save menus from F10 or escape. Hold space. There they were, with a full cargo hold and filled with newfound hope, yet the road ahead is still promised hardship and peril. I travelled with them southwards, expecting to reach more habitable lands beyond the Molten Tongue's river of lava. Okay, and I think that is a good point for me to go, and that is it for now. So we're going to leave it there. We've just left Scrap Heap. We've got a hold full of Scrap Heap. We're on our way to Devlin, was it? And yeah, so this is pretty interesting. Now, sorry I've been a bit slow going through the whole like intro and stuff. It is new to me and I want to try and read it so I actually know what is going on with it. But yeah, this looks pretty interesting. So this has been my first look at Vagrus. And it's the prologue of Vagrus, the Riven Realms. So if you do like this, it looks intriguing and you'd like to see more, then don't forget to do ring-a-ding my bell and comment below. And if enough of you want to see it, I'll carry on and do some more of it. So yeah, that's it for now. I'm Shirlierox and this has been Vagrus.